the TX-130. Now, for those that don't know, the TX-130 is a classic. It's an absolutely amazing tank. Hello, welcome back. It's Thrawn's Revenge. Hope you guys all had nice New Year's stuff. All your celebrations went well. TX-130. I will be talking about it today. I've done it a lot. I've done this version of the TX-130, which is the cheap EA version. I have the 2007 version, 2008 version. I like the TX-130. I think it's a really cool tank. It is a classic. If you have played Battlefront 1 and 2, the originals, if you have played the new Battlefronts, it's in there as well, although in a different form. It is a backbone of the Republic military and a backbone of the Imperial military as well. But I have done an even better version. So I always felt that these, although cool, are not perfect. I can do better than this. And so I have for you today my newest version. Go away. Go away. Move that one out of the way. So this is my final TX-130. Yeah. So this TX-130 is as accurate to Legends as I could possibly get it. There is a canon variant of this as well if you would prefer the more sleeker, bulkier look of EA's variant. Both are available for sale on my Rebrickable. This version is available as a kit on JarJarBricks.com, which is where I got this one. I bought this properly with my own money because I wanted this to be in my fleet of vehicles. So, to talk about some of the basics, there was some important stuff that I felt I needed to have in here. One of the first things is the back needed to be designed properly. So here's kind of what the back looks like. And then another thing that I felt was very important was that all of the fins need to work as they actually work for the vehicle in universe. So for those that don't know, these mandibles are actually 3 independent movements. So the back fin, which is for kind of like traversal. This is the rocket box, where the rocket launcher comes from, which is also independent. And then the rest of the mandible, which is all independent. So all of this is connected via Technic pins, and then they're connected in frames through the main section of the tank. And so they all move kind of independently. So to show you that, here's like this moving. Here's the rocket box, and then here's the mandible itself. So it does move. It's better if you kind of display this on a little bit of a higher stand. It does have clear boat studs underneath it, so you can just kind of move it around like so. That works fairly well. Another thing that I felt was really important was to be able to get the Legends amount of crew. This one was the big reason that I ended up designing this, was that a lot of people, when they make the TX-130, it's on average 1 to 2 crew that they have, not the full crew. So for those that don't know, the full crew is a pilot, a co-pilot / navigator, an optional gunner, and up to 2 passengers in the back of the tank. That's a lot of dudes to fit in such a small vehicle. The main section here is only, I think, an 8x6 plate of space, so it is difficult to get the full amount of crew in there. It also technically has an optional astromech droid. In the cutaways for the TX-130 that you see for the Republic version, you don't even see where the 2 passengers would go, so I think that's kind of like a modification, but I felt that because it says there's 2 passengers optional, I had the ability to put 2 passengers inside the vehicle. So, the cannons on the side here, I'll turn the swivel table off. These cannons are able to rotate up and down. You got the optional top turret that you can have. If you don't want this, it's not that difficult to just pop this off if you don't want it there, and you can just pop it back on fairly easily. To be able to get inside the vehicle is really straightforward. This whole top section just pops off. It is connected by 2 studs. Here is the gunner inside his little seat with the turret on the top. There are technically 2 turrets. There is the dual-barreled turret and the beam turret, which is a single barrel. I hope to at some point make the modification to give this the ability to do the single barrel, and maybe make some other modifications with the TX-130 to do my own versions of what the TX-130 could be as well, possibly a command variant. So that's how this guy comes off. He connects to the bottom with a bracket. Fairly straightforward. On the inside, let's take a little look and some of the details here. So the one thing you'll notice is this hatch does not open. That was something I had to deal with when making this. This hatch section is fairly stuck out and very uniquely designed. So to get this like plus kind of shape, I had to remove the ability of an opening hatch that some other model makers might prefer. So just a warning that that playability is not here. So for the inside, I have in there 2 tank troopers. And they're sitting in there fairly comfortably. They have some controls at the front, so let me show you that real quick. Oop, his helmet came off, not the actual guy. Come on. There's 1. There's 2. So that's kind of the inside. There's a couple of controls. There's a yoke right there to be able to control it with a speedometer. So a little bit of a more basic internals, but I think it gets the job done and kind of shows you what some of the controls should look like. And then in the back, you'll see those 2 jumper plates. That is where you are able to put another person. Now, I will say, you can fit 2 Phase 1 clones in here, one facing this way and the other facing that way. So kind of like so inside. But to fit a Phase 2 or a Stormtrooper, it's more of space for an extra passenger. Their helmets are a little too bulky to be able to fit there comfortably. If you kind of want to just like set them in there and not properly attach them, you probably can get the full 2 passengers. But just letting you know that it is a little tricky to get that to work the way it should work. So that's kind of what the inside looks like. So now let's talk about one other feature that I added to this bad boy. I'll close this back in. Is the rocket box right here. So this box, this piece right here is able to pop off. In the instructions, I have you build these as spares. Now some people will have this open up so that the rockets are able to be there. Because mine is a little bit more accurate and the guns are much closer to the rocket box, there's not enough space for this to be able to open and hinge up. So instead, what you have to do is you kind of wedge, and you take the gun off because the gun's kind of in the way. 1 second. Pop that off. So you wedge under here, and this just pops off like this. So it's just a single piece, like so, a single subassembly that you can pop off. And then instead, you put this guy right here. Let me make sure that's nice and snug in there. My bad if I hit the camera. Like so. So now it looks like a rocket's coming out of there and the rocket's being fired forward. So that's kind of an optional thing. It is a little annoying to do that, but you can either do that or not do it. If you don't want to, you can just put this back in there. It's pretty straightforward on how to be able to get that in there. And then for Jar Jar Bricks' model, they also have it there as well. So if you would like to do that on Jar Jar Bricks, they have the parts for you to be able to have that rocket box look like it's opened and firing a rocket. So let's put this guy back together real quick. Bam. Awesome. All right. So that's that model. And then if you want to see what the canon version, the EA version looks like, that's what it looks like right there. It is available in Republic colors, in both a red and dark red. Imperial colors, the dark bluish gray, light bluish gray. And then only on Jar Jar Bricks are you able to get this in the Republic 501st colors as a kit. And then the other kits are the Imperial version and the dark red version. They only have the Legends one. They do not have the canon one. The canon one is a little bit less popular, so they preferred to only keep the Legends one. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you like this new version of the TX-130. I'm very happy with how it turned out. It was originally a commission model, but I felt that it's the kind of model that needs to be shown to the masses and for you to be able to get it if you would like to. Yeah. Oh, there's also the lights. I forgot to talk about that. I added the proper lights on the bottom. There's supposedly lights on the bottom of the TX-130, so I added the 2 little lights on there. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. And like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. And yeah, peace out.